Rolling in the...
Rolling in the deep?
I think so.
I was going to put the...
Anyway.
You know.
Hi, Rochelle.
Days. Hi.
How you doing?
Oh, you know. Same.
Good to see you.
Cheers.
We are a little extra.
Mm-hmm. It has been confirmed today.
It has been.
I was ready just to go into like a full-on news report.
Yeah.
Like,
confirmed today. Leah and Rochelle are a little extra.
Just in.
This just in. We're going to talk about charisma.
Ooh.
Today. Charisma, I think...
I know nothing about it.
It is definitely a very important element to our extraness.
Yeah.
And the types of extraness that I appreciate in other people. And so, yeah.
I can't wait to hear about
I've got
it.
some stuff for us to talk about. So, we like to start with some definitions sometimes.
Okay.
So, excuse me. The definition of charisma is a compelling attractiveness or charm that can inspire devotion in others.
Oh. And that second part of it, is that really like integral to...
Well, yeah, I think I mean, that's the definition.
Yeah, I guess.
So, but in Greek,
just really want to
in Greek, the word charisma just translates to special gift.
Oh.
So it's, if you have charisma, you have a special gift. And that makes, I think, a little bit more sense to me. I think that's more close to what we've talked about anyways.
Do you know what the kids call it these days?
What?
Or does that come up later in your...
I have no idea.
They talk about the Riz. That's what Riz is.
Oh.
Charisma.
Oh, is the Riz?
Yeah,
I didn't even know this.
Yeah, and they go like, you got Riz. And then I keep trying to use it with my kid, and I'm like, oh, that's so Riz. And she's like, no, Mom, just
that's
no.
That's not how?
No. Anyways.
I mess up cool lingo on the reg. So.
On the reg?
On the reg. I just make up my own. So, and my charisma will
ditto.
cover that.
I'm still on like ditto.
Ditto.
Yeah.
Wicked. All right. So when someone has influence when they can attract and then influence and inspire people by just their personal qualities. And so that's a little bit more. So when you think of charisma, what does that look like to you? What are the qualities?
Just like you.
It just looks like me?
Yeah.
I am the epitome of charisma.
I think it's different in everybody, to be honest. I think it looks different.
So you're saying that charismatic people are always good looking?
No.
No.
No, what I meant was that it looks different on everybody.
Yeah. No,
like, there's no certain like. I think that a physical attraction is something that is easy to be influenced by immediately, but it's not.
Yeah.
I don't think it characterizes charisma.
So I had time to think about this, obviously. And so to me, I think people that are like bubbly or engaging in conversation, like, you know, they want to learn just as much as like they want to talk and they want to listen. And to me, when they're engaging, that's like a charismatic quality. And people that value the same things as me. And to me, I think that can build charisma as well. So who do you think of when you think of charismatic people?
Sometimes I just look in the mirror. No. I'm just coming off really egotistical today. It's fine.
Well, you said that they don't have to be good looking. No. And people say that Trump only got into his presidency because he's so charismatic. I don't know if I would define him as charisma the same way that I view it. Mm-hmm. But I mean, what else could be the explanation?
Who is charismatic? I don't know. I don't know if you watched Super Bowl at all.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I watched highlights of
let's just say like Travis Kelce is charismatic.
Okay.
Like I would, not that I think he's maybe necessarily the definition of it, but he is. I mean, he has fun and he does his little dancing and, maybe that's more charm. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm confusing charm and charisma.
I think of like there's a couple like crossover artists. Like I find those artists that are like singers and actors, like they just kind of have like a little bit more, and they're not like Justin Timberlake, and he's super funny and personable. Like you see him go on talk shows and stuff like that, and he's like, some actors and actresses do not have charisma, and they like, you know, they're very stiff as a board and aren't able at like carrying that conversation on. Like Johnny Depp, I would not say is charismatic.
Yeah, he's just crazy or something.
Or something, yeah. Still do. But yeah, so...
I know what you mean.
Yeah, so I don't think that, like, you know, all famous people are necessarily charismatic.
I agree.
Do you consider yourself to be charismatic?
Yes.
Yeah, I do too. Do you consider yourself to be influential?
I think sometimes this is something that's a newer thing for me. Some people tell me that I have a lot of, like, power. Mm. And so I'm thinking what they're alluding to is a little bit more of that. Because of, like, who I am or whatever it is that people are likely to, like, align with me.
Yeah. Well, I think it's that confidence, right? Like, you're so sure about whatever it is that you're entering into that people are like, yeah, no, she seems to know what she's doing.
Fake it till you make it. Thanks, Mom. Yeah. She told me that.
Well, I think that's a very real thing. Like, and I think that, so we talk about imposter syndrome sometimes. And I think that that's kind of like the other end of fake it till you make it, right? Because it's like, I faked it. And then all of a sudden, I know things and I've made it. And it's like, you know, I am the expert in some situations and stuff like that. But now I'm like, but I'm a nobody. Like but I worked really hard for that.
Totally.
And, but I still have those moments of like that imposter syndrome. It's like, oh, I don't know how I got here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm losing my words and all of a sudden I'm like,
Do not adjust your stereo.
Yeah, that's just how I'm talking. But no, imposter syndrome is a thing.
Yeah. And so back to influence, are you able to like sway people in your group with like, you know, if maybe you guys are going to go to a show or something like that. Will you lead that? Or?
No, I hate making those decisions. I don't care what movie we see. I don't care where we're going for drinks. I don't care where we're eating. I do not want to make decisions, but it's kind of more like, I don't know, just people just keep telling me lately, it's like, you don't understand the power that you hold. And I've heard it from a few people, like within, like, say, the last year, which is something that I'd never heard before. And so, maybe I should have asked them, like, what the hell you mean by that?
And would you use your powers for good or for evil?
Obviously for evil. No. For good. Obvious. Yeah, for me, that's an obvious thing. But it's weird to feel... I don't know. It's still a new thing to me because I'm not like, how do I put it? I just like do what I do. And then if people want to like come along, it's not like an active, like, follow me and let's right all the wrongs.
I think when I was younger, like as a teenager and even into adulthood, or like probably more so in my personal life, I guess is what I'm really trying to get at, is that, I can be very influential and like kind of sway what we're going to be doing and what we're going to like, I kind of,
do you like that?
Yeah, to some degree, because I know that the quality of fun that we're about to have is going to be exemplary.
Yeah.
But like, I like to host parties and I like to throw parties. We travel with different friends and stuff like that. And I usually...
Are you the planner?
I'm the planner and stuff. And people trust me. So it does feel good to be like trusted in that regard. I don't know if my charisma has much to do, like, maybe it is. Like, I've obviously influenced people to believe something about me, that they trust me.
Well, and they trust you, and that...
Because I'll literally be like, we're doing this, everybody send me $400. And boom, 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 boom. And I wish that, you know, I was good enough to do that in, like, a business sense and actually make money off of that instead of just, like, help it, like, they're just paying for their own way. So...
I like that.
So I have to go back to my notes now. Where am I? Powers for good or powers for evil? Do you ever so you said you'd sway people, like you would do good things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever swayed someone to do something like if they're drunk and you're like, hey, you could jump in that lake?
Oh, I've done a lot of really stupid things like that. Yeah.
I'm usually the idea person.
I stole once, a stuffed bunny from like a raffle basket at a bowling alley when I've been drinking lots.
I don't think that's the same thing, Michelle.
No.
But other people.
But it was kind of like we were all like convincing like each other that this was like some sort of a good idea or something.
It was like group hype.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that's not the same thing. Anyways, I did go back and return it the next day, and the person that took it said I should be ashamed of myself, and I sure was.
Shame.
Yeah.
Oh, shame.
So sorry, that was maybe not.
No, that's like the power of influence. Group influence is a huge thing.
Yeah.
And, but I don't know. Someone has to have that original stupid idea and has to have either the trust of the group or some kind of influence to like make that bad decision follow through in some regard.
Yeah.
So thinking about charisma in more of like a positive light and like, using it to get you places. Like charisma is really great in a job setting, when you're having an interview or you're having a conversation with someone there, it's how you are able to establish authority even, if you need to. Are people that are not naturally charismatic, do you think that they're able to become charismatic?
That's an interesting question. No.
No?
No.
Like you either got it or you don't?
Yeah.
I think that why not? Like, why do you think that?
You disagree then?
Well, I do. Yeah, I think I do. But I guess I'm wondering your thought process.
Can you like teach someone to be funny? Can you teach someone to be, arrogant? Can you teach someone like on paper you can, but will it actually translate? I don't know.
Maybe it's teaching them to fake it until they make it.
Well, maybe.
Because if you're funny, like you could teach someone a bunch of jokes and then put them on a stage but
still either their charisma will land it or not.
Yeah. That's true. If you just tell deadpan jokes all the time in a deadpan voice, it might not ever fly.
I don't know.
So according to Harvard Business Review, you have to show, they say that you can become charismatic, but you have to be able to show integrity, authority, and passion. And so I think I'd actually take the same philosophy we took in the Finding Your Passion episode that we did. And, when we said, don't force being extra about everything. And because that would be, so don't force charisma until the next thing you know, you're going to look like those guys off SNL where it's like, hey, we're two wild and crazy guys. I think if you're forcing that, it's going to
just do this for the rest of the show. Just dance.
But, so don't force the charisma into all aspects of your life. You have to know what your strengths are.
Right.
And know what you're a subject matter expert on. Speak to your strengths and speak to the things that you actually know about.
That is huge. I love speaking publicly, but I need to know what I'm talking about.
Well, there's an old saying.
Practice.
There's an old saying that it's better to be thought of a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. So
that's funny.
But yeah, so you like public speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's so what would you speak on that you would be a subject matter expert on? What's your niche?
Well, probably in terms of I do a lot of sewing, so that would be something that I'd be very comfortable speaking about. I don't know, I'm pretty opinionated. So it's just like, you know, on a lot of things.
And I think
sharing my opinion, I guess. I would be really good on like The View.
You know, if you need spots.
I could be there tomorrow.
I like hosting events. Like when I'm doing public speaking, I prefer not to have like my own presentation. I could like do my own presentation sometimes, but I like hosting and kind of being like the color commentary and you know, kind of flying off the cuff and moving that. That's like my favorite way, I think, is to do that. But so what they say is that if you're the subject matter expert, you want to speak passionately and confidently, and but you want to make space for other people too. So you don't want to come across as like annoying or intimidating or abrasive or anything like that. But so that confidence is not arrogance.
Right.
Yeah.
Fine line there sometimes.
There really is. Yeah, absolutely.
So how does one do that then?
Know your stuff inside and out, and like,
but don't know it too well,
and have people ask you questions and stuff like that, and you know, be able practice by having people ask you questions and then audibly responding to them. But like, you know, so charismatic storytellers, they help people understand and relate and remember a message. So if you can tell a story to get your point across, it's going to stand out or be like that, that more memorable. And so, and knowing a bit about your audience too, and using metaphors that they'll understand to get your point across.
Yep. And,
you know, that's just the most relatable way, I think. And Harvard Business Review as well. So, so using metaphors and analogies that resonate with them is like a really powerful tool. But I've thought that joining Toastmasters would be like a really great way for someone who's not charismatic to practice being.
So what is that?
Toastmasters?
Yeah.
It's, you know, it existed when, like, I remember it existing when I was a kid, and I remember, like, my mom being a part of it and stuff like that. I'm sure there are still groups like this in existence. They usually have, like, chapters at maybe a different businesses hosted.
Really? I've never heard of it.
Oh, really? So you have to jump online and look at Toastmasters, but it's basically a public speaking practice group. And
that's cool.
So you might get together once a month at, you know, for supper or lunch or something like that. Yeah. And you just kind of sit around a room, and they have different kinds of programming where you have like different lengths of speeches and styles of speeches that you learn, but you just get a lot of practice. Like, you'll go around the room and introduce yourself. You say something funny about yourself. You say like a funny anecdote or something like that. But then you get that feedback from the group as well. And they can say, hey, you know, I saw that you were looking at the ground a lot. Maybe next time you want to, you know, look up and try and engage and have that eye contact with your audience, or, you know, stuff like that can help you improve on that.
Super cool.
And so that is, I think, my big advice to those who are not charismatic. Do you have any advice for people that are not charismatic? I know I'm really putting you on the spot there.
Totally putting me on the spot today. That's for sure. Advice for people, I don't know, find a charismatic friend. Leave John. No.
It's not bad. Like, if you...
just because I feel like it's something that you kind of have or you don't.
If you hang around with people that you aspire to be like, eventually you start to earn some of those qualities and attributes. The same goes if you hang around shitty people, though. Keep that in mind. So, you know...
Good point.
Be careful. Be careful who's in your circle, because, you know, they will either elevate you or not.
Yeah. Be around those people that just want to lift you up, and.
That's right. Those are your peeps.
Yep.
I have a question.
Do you?
Yes, I have someone who needs some advice. Would you like to give some advice
I would love to give a little extra advice.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
And this is actually on this charisma topic a little bit too, so I was kind of happy when this one came in.
I'm excited.
My boyfriend is a smooth talker and a quick thinker. How can I control the conversation and win an argument?
Oh. Well, you just always got to get the last word. That's how I win.
No, you're fucked.
That's hard because I've known people like that, and I do feel like conversations like that, I generally end up, you go circles and circles and circles, and then you're finally just like, you know what, like, I'm above this. This is not going anywhere. Bye.
Or you think of like the perfect thing to say later on.
Oh, it's the worst. I hate that.
Yeah.
I would just say hit him. Yep.
You know what? I would say that you need to find a way to slow the conversation down. And that's like, I know that being interrupted by someone who's a fast thinker and a smooth talker, interrupting might be a thing. And so really like setting that boundary to let you have your turn and make sure that you have that opportunity to say what's in your head at the pace that you want to say it. Mm-hmm. So, but I think that controlling the speed of the conversation, even if it's just being honest and being like, look, I can't converse as fast as you. So you need to pause so that I can talk. And
people like that too, although I just like to let them talk.
Yeah.
Like that's usually my best response is you just sit there, you're like, okay. Uh-huh.
And I mean,
and like,
pick your battles too. Like if it's wait until it's your to die on, but don't let it drag you underwater because people like that can drag you under a little.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm maybe like too much like the other way, but I just, if somebody wants to keep, like, not allow you to get your word in, I just disengage.
Yeah. And I mean, and I can only speak from my personal experience, but I win a lot of fights because I know everything. And
same.
So you just need to do better.
Yeah.
Be better.
How can you know everything when I know everything?
Well, we haven't had to argue about anything, so we probably just know the same things.
And cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers. Good chat.
Yeah, good chat.